So we've heard this so many times, this greatest commandment of Jesus, love God and love your neighbor. I have to wonder, though, has it lost its meaning? Let me put it in this context. Two things. First, I think it's interesting that the Pharisees are trying to test Jesus. Remember, they're out to get him. They don't like what he's preaching. They don't like what he's saying because he's making himself out to be God. But isn't it ironic? They're asking for an interpretation of the law from the one who wrote the law. Think about it. It's God's law, and Jesus is God. What do you expect him to say? The second thing is the church. When the church chooses the readings that it uses on Sundays, it always uses the first reading to support the gospel. So we have to look at the first reading to get an understanding of what the gospel means. The first reading from the book of Exodus, we hear God reminding the people, don't forget, you were oppressed as aliens at one time, and you didn't like it. Don't do the same thing, or I, your God, will be very angry. You see, because as God, I will take care of the alien, just as I took care of you. At the very heart of loving God is loving neighbor. You can't have one without the other. And I think we lose the meaning of it all when Jesus says, love neighbor as yourself. And you see, it's the as yourself part that's so important, so very important, because as yourself, loving your neighbor as yourself, has to do with, don't forget to take care of yourself. I like to ask it this way. How can I take care of others if I don't or can't even take care of myself? Well, how do you do that? How do you take care of yourself? I think this is where it starts. There was a priest author, Father William McNamara, some years ago, who wrote that the two highest forms of activity are prayer, which is obvious because prayer really connects us to God, and that's our first relationship. And the second one, can you guess what it is? Probably not. Because the second highest form of human activity is play. Yeah, play. Have fun. Have fun with life. You might say, well, that's something that children do. When we get to be adults, we work. We don't have time to play. But didn't Jesus tell us to be like little children? And didn't God tell Adam that one of the consequences of original sin was work? Work isn't fun. It's work. And how many people have you heard say, I love to get up and go to work in the morning? It's fun for me because it's almost like I get to play all day long. There are people like that, you know. I like my work. I have fun doing what I do. It is play for me in a lot of ways. Even prayer is meant to be fun. It's play because it's about a relationship with God, and that's meant to be fun. I think the mistake we make is that we think play should be easy. The care of ourselves should be easy. And it's not, at least not all the time. It's not. It requires effort. And aren't we all, well, because of original sin, essentially lazy? We want the fun without the effort. And I think when we make the effort to take care of ourselves, when I make the effort to take care of myself, I have the energy, the strength, the will, the desire to care for others. And it's then that I start acting like God. It's then that I can love God and love neighbor. And of course, that's when we fulfill this command. God bless you.